Hi there, my name is Matt Cole.
And I'm Brian Garrity.
And we are the producers of the Sexperts Podcast, and we have a very special returning champion, hopefully not for the last time, but for the last time in the near future. Welcome, Hayley Daniels.
Hello.
Hello. I'm saying all this, I guess I'm giving away the goosey gander or burying the lead or whatever metaphor you might want. But
you're marrying the cow,
You're
giving away the milk.
Whoa!
Spoiler
I don't know if
alert.
they're talking about. I'm not sure they're talking about marriage, but anyways, so you're headed off to
Austin, Texas.
Oh my God! So although Hayley has been a staple in the Hampton Roads, specifically improv comedy scene for the last how many years?
And stand up.
Since
stand up,
2013.
she will now go to Austin, like all good talent goes. So what talk about the move and stuff. What are you going for?
I got into University of Texas at Austin's screenwriting program, so I'll be getting my MFA in a short 2.5 years.
No way. Sweet. Brian's like, yeah, I have my MFA. It's not a big deal. It's your treat.
I didn't know. I didn't know what an MFA was for a large part of my life.
Really?
It's a motherfucker.
Yeah. And then I met someone at a party, and they from high school.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, got my MFA." I'm like, "What that is?"
Motherfucker.
This is an interesting story because you've never had to know it in your life what an MFA was, and then finally you're like, "Okay, fine, you got me. What's an MFA?"
Pretty much how it went.
And this is a good story about how you got in an MFA, right? What did you submit?
Oh, I wrote an essay all about my favorite comedy group that I've ever been a part of, Ravens Hollow County
No,
Players.
you did not. Oh my
I did.
God.
So I wrote, my intro was about my fake wedding. So I set the scene. I was like, a melancholy melody plays on the viola. And I'm walking barefoot down the streets of Norfolk with my pet rabbit in my arms. Where am I going? To my fake wedding. So I wrote them all about my fake wedding to my fake husband, John Regan Morton, who's the love of my life. We are fake married.
Did you mention the protesters?
I don't know if I mentioned the protesters.
Brian was one of them.
Yes.
He was the lead one, I would say, right?
You can't have a good wedding unless you have someone there protesting it.
There was only two, and maybe I was the lead. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because here's a scalpel. That was interesting because that was more of a performance, but you are going for writing, right?
Yes. So I was telling them how I really like to write unusual projects, and I'm very interested in going into television writing.
Yeah.
And the way the internet is nowadays, you can have the weirdest scripts in the world, and they'll still get produced because somewhere in some dark corner of someone's basement, there's someone on Netflix watching what you want to write.
All you need is an iPhone and a drone.
Okay. Did you submit anything else?
That was it.
Wait, I thought
I wrote a pilot called Salem Heights, and it was about a teen foster child.
Oh yeah,
who goes to a high school in Salem, Massachusetts, and she finds out that the Salem witch trials are repeating themselves again.
That's cool.
In her high school.
Well, I thought, didn't you submit Cock and Balls or no?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I was trying to get to that.
It's definitely on my resume, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever written is Cock and Balls, and I've thought about just keep working on script 2.
Yeah.
Episode 2 is halfway done on my computer right now. I left off where you find out one of the characters lost her virginity to a Nazi sympathizer. She's not we don't like this character, but we admire her humor. She's not a good person.
That's why I have Brian around. I don't admire him. I like him for his one-liners. Hit it.
Better to sleep with a Nazi sympathizer than an actual Nazi.
See, there you go.
That's what I tell my kids.
You nailed it. I like the addendum. Okay. So what have you been up to? Wait, when did we record last with you?
It was a long time ago.
Well, the last time we recorded on Sexperts.
Yeah.
That was when I was hippie. I was a hippie. My name was Sage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was talking all
I
about
thought you meant in
putting-
real life. Because you've always been a
I've
hippie.
always been a hippie. I'm still a hippie to this day. But I was Sage. I forget her last name.
Sage Moonstone, right?
Yeah, Sage Moonstone,
remember
and
that
she
one.
put the rocks up her hoo-ha.
We did have you on as part of Ravens Hollow,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
but
there.
that was your last solo incident.
Yeah.
Episode.
And you were on Improv Podcast, and actually the Ravens Hollow episode is going to be released. I'm excited about it. I think you should listen to it. Right, it's unlike anything. I think it may change your world. It's unlike anything you've ever heard on a podcast. It's really interesting, and I'm not just saying that because I want numbers on that one. It's really fascinating. I want numbers.
I do
want
plan on
downloads.
starting a chapter of Ravens Hollow
Yes.
County Players in Austin, Texas, because we want to spread the Raven wings as far as we can.
But will there be enough weird people to?
Yeah.
Austin's motto is "Keep Austin Weird."
They better, if they don't embrace Ravens Hollow, then I don't know. I don't know what they embrace.
Well, so we've had what? Well, I guess two of the
Yeah.
departures were temporary. Is this your first permanent departure from Ravens Hollow?
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Are you gonna
yeah.
be holding auditions?
Yeah, we're holding auditions in the Lynnhaven Cemetery, right at the stroke of 3 a.m. with a witch's hour. Bring back.
You have to produce milk from your witch's teat in order to be eligible.
So if you're unfamiliar, Ravens Hollow County Players is a group that I came up with as kind of like that sketch on SNL where they're like making fun of high school theater for being like really pretentious and really like dramatic and dark. And Brian's shaking his head. And
Anytime I do anything that reminds you at all of an SNL sketch, you're like, we're not doing it. But you based your most favorite project ever on an SNL sketch. Or at least compare it to.
well, here's the difference. Your stuff has Will Ferrell in it. Mine doesn't. So it's like nobody
That's
pays attention.
Pretty fucking true.
So what have you been in since we have left you last? What have you been working on?
Girl Prov. I had to pare down what I was doing a lot. You have to kind of when you're moving, only take the things you love with you. So I'm taking Ravens Hollow in my heart and
Nice.
Girl Prov in my heart. Those are the two that really define my experience at Push.
And speaking of leaving
Can
a
you
big...
take a little teeny bit of fan club in your heart?
Jordan Romero took all of fan club in his heart. Or
JT Rome.
Jay
Yeah, now we're gonna
Moreau.
thanks a lot, Hayley. Now we're going to have to edit this episode.
JT Mouton.
Who is Jordan Romero? Who is that?
who
I
is
don't know who
Romero?
that is.
I think
I
he's
don't
going
think
by
he knows who it is
Jacques
either.
Rocasto right now.
Okay, so we talked about Ravens Hollow, and the other piece of your heart was Girl Prov. Talk about that.
All girl improv, second Friday of every month. One of the most kick-ass groups at Push.
Yeah.
Solid improv set every
Yeah.
single time. I'm gonna brag on them because I'm not part of them anymore. They've been at it a few years now.
Yeah.
They're holding auditions coming up, so if
bravo.
keep your ears perked for that, because if
Do I-
you're
do I-
a female, if you gender identify as a female, you're eligible to audition for that.
If
There you
I produce milk from my man teat, will that get me through the audition?
Milk is only half the battle, my friend. You got to have that attitude, too.
I'll work on that.
No, seriously, and I post about it every time it comes around because I hope people see it. It's really, really funny, and it's really, really unique because it is all women, and unfortunately, a lot of improv people think it's like mostly white dudes on stage, and we're trying to get away from that because it gets boring after a while. How many times can people laugh at me and Brian?
Yeah, that is one thing about
Doing
Girl
the same
Prov
shit.
is right now we're all white women.
Yeah.
And so I'm really hoping with my departure that allows us to diversify some.
Yeah,
Because you were against having minorities in the group.
and that's where the sourness comes in. But no, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of up and coming women of color we had them on the podcast, like in Lemon Pepper and Saison. I am not pronouncing that correct. They have a lot of talented people in there, so who knows? And I can't wait. And you said second Friday of every month.
Yes.
Cool.
At 8 p.m.
So, all right, now let's talk. Are you just going to focus on like writing when you go to Austin? Are you trying to get into improv and like performance scene or what?
There are several improv theaters out there, so I'll definitely do that as a hobby here and there because I'll need something to break up all the writing I'm doing. I can't sit still that long, so I have to like move. I majored in theater, so I had like acting classes in my undergrad, and those are like 3 hours of like rolling around on the floor and mooing and crying and stuff.
So that's what Brian missed. That motherfucker he missed. He came into like acting and performing late in life. He didn't have to do all that shit.
No.
Like staring at somebody
Pretend to be fire.
like nose to nose and just staring in their eyes for 5 minutes.
I'm gonna go to TCC at night.
Yes! Oh my god, I would love
get
it.
my associates.
I would pay for your tuition. I seriously, maybe half. It's
I won't have
expensive
to.
now.
I'll get a basketball scholarship, and I will get an associates. You hear that, Tidewater Community College? I'm coming for you.
From there, he can go anywhere.
Associates in theater.
From there, he can go to Juilliard.
You can anywhere. It's right
Anywhere.
there.
Oh my god. Okay, well, what are your, in case they're listening, what are your top 3 improv schools in Austin? Do you know, or
I went to Fallout Theater.
is that your number 1?
I just have only been there. I've been to Fallout Theater, and then I saw Hideout Theater. Like all of the theaters in Austin are about like hiding from danger. So I'm gonna go to the theater I feel safest in. And survive the apocalypse.
Yeah, prepper theater.
I like Bug Out Theater. I went to that one. Yeah, it had a bug theme, but also nuclear. The cockroach was the mascot.
I like Come Out Theater. It's all LGBT.
That's actually a good idea. If that doesn't exist, you should do that
Fallout or Hideout Theater, start a group called Come Out Theater.
Yeah.
And you can have Come Out nights on Thursdays. Thursdays are great nights for the LGBTQ community to come out.
Okay.
Come on out to Come Out.
And we all have accents here
Give you
in Texas.
give you a coupon for cookout at the Hideout.
What are you most excited about in Texas? Maybe that we don't have here besides school.
Really good tacos.
Really? Good tacos.
We have a parting gift for you, which is if you would give us your phone, we will subscribe to this podcast for you. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Once a week, you will get a reminder that
Unsubscribed.
I
I have all the automatic downloads.
just
right
like us to
here.
get somebody something they already have.
Yeah, look. Okay, so you can see there's psychic teachers, enlightened empaths, lore, cults, and right under cults is Sexperts. Episode 138 needs to download from the crowd, but it's Area 69 extra testicular anal probes.
Oh my
and close
god,
encounters.
this is very self-referential right now.
I think it's gonna explode.
Okay, well, let's see. Well, thank you for being quite a joy to watch on stage and working with you.
Well, thank you.
Best of luck in Austin. We'd be back because your parents are still around here in Hampton
I'll be
Roads,
back
right?
at Christmas because I have to see my grandma.
Yeah, me too. So I'll see you at Grandma's house. And maybe we could do a Ravens Hollow show, like at Christmas, a very Ravens Hollow Christmas. Look, Brian's getting excited right now. He's got ideas. I could guarantee you.
I thought you were going to say at her grandma's house. I brought some friends back from college.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for coming on the show. We're on to the episode. Any last words, Brian? Because you seem to have something to say.
And I'm Delilah Haydair.
All right. Bye-bye.